All right, so here we are. Okay, it's interesting how the Monday meetings always, the Zoom seems to work different than when I'm doing the Sunday presentation. Anyway, well, to all our guests who are on and who may be joining us, this is the follow on from our Sunday um, webinars. And the follow on is we're looking at how we can participate in Super Patch's vision and Super Patch's mission to bring their technology to the world. And they have a very unique business venture, a business opportunity where we can all become entrepreneurs. And apart from being able to access the technology for our personal use at very accessible and prices that we can maintain it, it also gives us an opportunity where we can build globally scalable businesses and have the potential to increase our financial potential now and for the future. And so we know that Superpatch is a company that is pioneering a new paradigm in drug-free health, wellness, and performance. And the vision of the company is to build something generational that's going to transform the world. And the nature of the technology is such that it can, in fact, do that because it is tapping into the regenerative intelligence of the human design, unlike anything else right now within the wellness industry. And when we get to fully understand what that means, it means that it's tapping into, it's not dealing with what is happening, it's getting more closer to why it is happening. And so while the world looks at relieving symptoms, we it's better, that is good, but it's better to deal with why it is that the symptoms are even there. And if we can get work at that level, we're going to have more long-term effects that goes beyond the symptoms themselves. Superpatch is a relatively new company. Um, it launched in January of 2023 in North America. It came out of the gates with a bang, doing 60 million in its first year, over 120 million in its second year, and we're on target to double that in 2025, which is our third year. So it's a very young company, but coming into an industry that really needs better solutions, because when we look at the World Health Organization's website, it is interesting to me that we are improving in know-how and understanding when it comes to sickness and disease, but we don't seem to be getting as effective at solving the problems. We're becoming better at managing them, and people are living longer, but they're living with conditions longer. The company has been expanding rapidly within the 3 years. We're in more than 30 countries. We have offices in throughout North America and expanding more and more in Europe. We've opened recently in Switzerland, and more last week we opened in Mexico, and Turkey and Colombia are on target for this year. And so the company is growing quite rapidly, and that's because of the uniqueness of the technology that we have. We touched on that last night, where there are 14 different technologies, 14 different patterns, 14 different um, products that the company offer that taps in to that mind-body balance to be able to affect various areas of health and wellness and performance. And just to do a quick recap on how the technology works, we're going to just look at a minute and a half video that just gives us an overview, just to remind us about that. So let's just take a look at that quickly, and then we'll continue on.
Constant reminders of your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis can make it hard to be there when it matters most.
Super Patch is the most advanced wearable technology in the market, with 15 plus years of research and development. Super Patches are 100% drug-free, non-invasive, and backed by science. Our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a corresponding neural code or message in our brain that controls and regulates it. Due to factors such as injury, stress, genetics, etc., these neural codes can get disrupted, leading to poor health, wellness, and performance. At Super Patch, we've decoded these neural messages that manage the neural control of physical, emotional, and psychological functions. Every single Super Patch has a unique pattern of ridges in it, similar to a QR code. When these ridges come in contact with our skin, the receptors in and around our skin send a message to our brain, which then decodes it. This intricate pattern of ridges is known as vibrotactile technology, or VTT for short. When the patch stimulates the skin receptors, it generates and sends a very complex signal to our brain to correct the specific neural codes that may be disrupted. The effects are almost immediate, so you focus less on overcoming wellness and quality of life challenges and more on living a happier and healthier life. Whether it's improving your sleep, enhancing your sports performance, or unlocking other life-enhancing benefits, Super Patch has you covered. Try Super Patch today and start your health and wellness journey.
The Super Patches, the technologies that the company has developed so far, they represent a $500 billion global market. Each one of the patches actually speaks to a $1 billion market in and of itself. That alone tells us the potential when you're thinking of it from the perspective of commerce or business. It tells you how great the potential is in being able to build a business with technology that is unique, that is speaking to needs that on a global scale has great demand. And so each one of the patches could be a niche all by itself. And so we have a wide open market. And because our technology is unique and it is what people are looking for drug-free solutions. People are looking for solutions that are effective. People are looking for solutions that doesn't have the side effects that your body doesn't develop a dependency on. And more than that, how many solutions in the wellness industry do you hear about that is speaking to physical, emotional, and psychological benefits? If you listen to the video, those are the three areas that it mentions: physical, emotional, and psychological benefits. What's doing that out there in the market in a way that is not introducing anything into the body that can have any type of contraindications or effects? There's absolutely nothing. And there's nothing that, without doing that is this effective and works this quickly. So as a business, we have a wide open market that we can tap into with a very unique technology. The company has market advantages to help to ensure that we have an infrastructure that as we scale our businesses, that we are protected, we could have stability and we could have longevity in our businesses. So even though Superpatch may be a young company, it has postured itself in such a way because of the vision of the CEO that in building something generational, that we can be sure that what we are going to be putting our efforts into is something that we can leave a legacy with, because that too, what we're building is something that's going to last. And so we know we have a good technology. We know that it is an industry disruptor, and anything that disrupts an industry moves on to becoming something that ricochets across the world. You can think back on any technology that has ever disrupted an industry, and you'll see that it has gone on to change the world. Superpatch is postured in that very same way. Our intellectual property is protected across the globe in 186 countries, and so it cannot be copied. It cannot be. The company does not license it out for rebranding, so there's no white labels. There's no competitive products. So we are not in the market where we are looking to compete with others. We're not. We don't need to prove ourselves to be better than, because there's nothing that actually is comparable to what we have. So competition is irrelevant for us. We are one of one, as the CEO likes to say. And so because we're the only one of our kind that's beginning to create a new approach and a new era of wellness. So we are exclusive in this drug-free health and wellness area, and our products work quickly. It's easily demonstrated, and to show the efficacy of how the technology works, and it can be done with immediate effects. Technology of this caliber and of this range, one would expect them to be quite costly, as it usually is in the direct selling industry, but that's quite the opposite. Becoming part of the business in itself is so accessible to the average person, which is also not common within the direct selling industry. The company has what they call a CapEx, Global Mass Media Advertising Program, where we in the field globally get to participate in the company's efforts in branding the Superpatch product on a global scale through their own corporate efforts. We in the field get to benefit from that, and you can find out more about that from your host. The marketing model or the economic model, it's two separate but independent. They're two independent but interconnected, globally scalable systems into one business. And you get to see how that works, but the way how it is structured, we can emphasize one over the other depending on where our preferences lie. But at the same time, they're so interconnected, either one can be built into a multi-million-dollar, or collectively they work more effectively to build a very large, financially sustainable business. And we'll get to see how that works. This is an overview of how that would work. The first of the two is an affiliate marketing platform, where when you become a member, and that's for a one-time membership fee of $40, you get an affiliate marketing platform which you get to brand it with your name. It's a corporate replicated website that has all the information that you need on the products, the science, the studies, etc. You have a full back office suite that has all the tools and all the metrics that you need to track the performance, the activities, and to be able to build your business on a very large scale. It has the training in there, and it has resources to help us to be able to do so. All that we need is built into that platform. The company takes care of all the back end of it. As a business, we don't need to be involved with how the company is branding itself globally. We can do our own thing using social media, customer service, shipping and handling, payment systems, all of those things that are needed for a globally scalable online business. The company has taken care of that, and all that's built in. And so a platform that could easily cost at least $20,000 to be able to manage and maintain, the company gives us that for a one-time membership cost of $40. We have to maintain that, which would be expected, and that's an annual fee of just $25. Now, with this platform, when we understand that 80% of global brands are now marketed through affiliate marketing, and the Internet of Things, which is expanding, people are going online for pretty much everything today. So we can have a large audience reach using social media platforms and digital tools. And some of this is actually in our back office to help to guide us, where we can now begin to offer our product individually using social media um, platforms to market our brands. And while we're a conduit for the Superpatch technology into the world, we are all operating our own businesses independently. And so we have that reach. We can target our audiences. As I said, each patch in itself speaks to $1 billion industry. And so this is a sector that is rapidly growing. And so the first thing that we have is that we have an online presence that we get to be able to use our own ingenuity and creativity of how we're going to build our businesses online. Now that we have our platform and that we are now on board and part of the global community, how we go about doing that is all up to us to learn the ins and outs of how we're going to do that. And if this was all the company gave us, this is a multi-million-dollar potential all by itself. The first thing you need to do is to use the technology. That's the very first thing everyone must do. And what we encourage people to do is to start with what we call our Flex 4 starter pack. This is the simplest way to get started. There are other options of how you can get started for the more investment and entrepreneurial minded person, and we'll talk about that shortly. But this is the simplest way for the average person to be able to get started. That $175 includes that one-time $40 membership, where you get to choose any four of the technologies that suits your lifestyle or your needs. You can choose any four of those for just this 175. This is how accessible the company is making it because of the vision to be able to reach the global market and to be able to impact people's lives with this technology. Um, I always like to say that the three patches that I have just listed there, the Liberty, Peace, and Defend, that's just there because some people may say, well, which one should I use? You could never go wrong by starting with these three foundational patches and any other of your choice. But this is how you would want to begin. You have your platform, you begin using the technology right away because there's nothing like getting the experience for yourself so that you can give proper representation to the technology. The second arm of it is building teams of common unity. And I say common unity because the key in building teams, it is a system of duplication. And duplication is a very powerful principle in business models. In fact, it's the most effective and efficient distribution system and business building model that has been used in the past and is used by massive and some of the largest companies in the world. And so you are here because someone invited you and shared it with you. I am here because someone did the same with me. And so that's how we build our teams globally, because don't think locally where you are, because there's no borders to this, and it doesn't matter who you share this with across the globe. As people become involved, it's all interconnected and it's all tracked, it's all measured by the tools that you have in your back office on your platform. This is another stream of income that is completely separate from what you do with your online platform. Or anyone who goes to your website and purchase anything from your online store from anywhere, that stream of income is separate from the income that will come through building your teams of common unity or your community. This is really untapped potential that you have here. This is passive income where you are continually going to be paid for work that is done now. You will continue to get paid for it in time to come. I cannot say enough how powerful a business model this is, because when you talk about a duplication system, which is what direct selling or multi-level or network marketing is. It is the very model itself, even though I know some people may have a bad taste in their mouth from past, and that it's not the model that's the issue, it is how companies may choose to structure their compensation inside of that model. What Superpatch has done, they've created a very dynamic model that has advantages to it, and it's a very fair and it's also a very lucrative system. But the process of duplication is one that ensures that we can build sustainability, that we can have, because you could only do so much as a single person. You could only do so much as a leader in a company. But when you can duplicate efforts and you can build a culture of people, you're now looking at more and more leaders. You're now looking at more and more compounded efforts and compounded growth. And as a business model, it is the most effective and efficient business model. What we want to make sure is that we have a company that is built to last and a technology that is not a fad that's going to fizzle out. And neither of those is the position when it comes to Superpatch. So those are the two sides of the business model. We're building teams globally to help to bring the technology to the world. And we have our online platforms. Both are separate streams, but yet they're interconnected in their functionality, because you can build your teams globally through using your online platform as well, in concert with the digital tools and the social media platforms and so on. The duplication is the nature of duplication invites the power of compound growth. So we go from a linear way of growing a business to an exponential way of growing our business. And what we don't see and what you won't get inside of this overview is the dynamics that's built into the model that helps to fuel or propel that duplication process, that helps to hold it together in a cohesive way where we get the growth and development happening in a harmonious manner. But the model itself is built on compound growth, and is something that's very important to bear in mind, because a lot of people, while they may be familiar with the term, they're not familiar with the concept in practical daily application. And so sometimes we can miss it. And so it's a mindset that has to be developed about it. And compounding, whether it pertains to the structure of the business development or how we earn and how our money can grow and develop in it, they're both two sides of the same coin. But it is worth emphasizing and taking note that if our mindset is not in place, we will tend not to take full advantage and utilize it and be able to stay the course. So compound growth is how small, consistent sums multiply into significant amounts. It is how earnings generate earnings. That's not a familiar concept. People who are investors and those of the wealthy of the world, they understand this because this is how compounding works. The growth is not linear, it is exponential. And you'll get to see what that is like in our examples, so that the more it grows over time, the more it accelerates. The more it grows, the faster it begins to grow. And the faster it begins to grow, the greater the speed becomes in its growth. So it picks up momentum over time. And once it's in motion, it takes less active effort to keep that process of multiplication happening. And a good example is the chart that we have here, just to go through. And I like it because this brings it across very clearly. Imagine giving the average person on the street the opportunity to say, I'll give you $10,000 every day for the next 30 days, or I'll just give you 1 cent and I'm going to compound that every day for the next 30 days. which would you prefer? The average person may say, I'll take the 10,000 every day. And after 30 days, they would have 300,000. The person who took the 1 cent and it got compounded into 2, into 4, into 8, into 16, and so on, at the end of 30 days, they would have over $5 million. And that blows some people's mind to know that that is what actually can happen when you start with such a low amount. But that's the power of compound growth. But here's where people often fall down when it comes to it. Think of it this way, halfway through this 30 days, one person has made 150,000 and the other person is only at $163. And it seems as though you're wasting your time and that you've made the wrong choice. 20 days into it, you're at 5,000 and the other person is at 200,000. But in the remaining 10 days, you'll go from 5,000 to 5 million. They go from 200 to just 300,000. That is the power of compounding. And this is exactly how the structure and the payments or the compensation or the money is earned based on this principle. So can you become wealthy with this? You can. Do we have a business, a product, a structure that can do it? Yes, we can. What's missing from that is mindset, attitude, vision, goals, etc., and the dynamics that's built into it to make it work. And we are in an industry, health and wellness, which is one of the greatest demanding industries that is rapidly expanding across the globe. And so when it comes to the compensation plan, SuperPatch has more than 10 streams of income that we can tap into. The online retail commissions that comes through your website, they're paid weekly. All the other bonuses are paid monthly, and we're not going to go through all of these because we could be here for a long time. I'm just going to go through the ones across the top because we're going to touch on them to give you an example of what the potential could be like in getting started and what the potential is for your business. The first one, the 25% retail commissions, that is what we earn through our online platforms. Any product, any pack of patches that is purchased, or every pack of patch that's purchased from your website, you get 25% commissions on the cost of that product, which is very handsome when you consider your operational costs and expenses compared to a traditional business. This is a very handsome commission to get. And so that is your retail commission from your online. All the other bonuses here pertain to the team building efforts, the other side of it, of the passive incomes. The second one, the fast start bonuses, I have that highlighted because this only pertains to the first 60 days of your enrollment. After 60 days of enrolling, this goes away. This doesn't happen anymore. All the rest is what you're going to have for your duration of the time. And we're going to talk about what these fast start bonuses, because the fast start bonuses are connected to another way of entry of launching your business that is for those who are looking to start fast and build quickly. That's what that is for. And the bonuses associated with those type of investment-minded is how you can recover your investments very quickly, and we'll talk about that very shortly. Apart from these commissions, there are other bonuses, rewards, and the incentives that we get through the company, and you can get to learn more about that as well. But this is what the company offers in their payment system. The company, the marketing plan, the structure has 10 levels of achievement in it. And because we're just not even 3 years as yet, there is no one that has reached the global presidential level, which is the highest level. We do have people at the presidential level and all the way back down. We all start as associates, and we work our way and scale our way as we build and grow our businesses all the way through. I have managing director highlighted here differently because this is the bridge that we see this as the bridge that you need to cross where you get into where accelerated and exponential growth begins to happen, where you start now to get to that side where that little bit has got to a point where you're now beginning to see that growth beginning to get exponential and accelerate. And so between associate and director, we consider that part-time income because most people will start just part-time and just doing it however they can commit to it. And so we're going to give you an example to see how the system works between starting as an associate to senior associate to team leader and then to director. The goal is you want to cross the managing director bridge because this is where more of a full-time income begins from here. And as you begin to cross this bridge of a full-time income and you get over into the presidential levels, you begin to start to see that exponential growth beginning to start to take place. And so we're going to just give you an example and unfold it from associate to director and give you an example of that. We're doing that using what we call our 3X module, where you enroll and you start your business. You're going to have the guidance in how to go about doing that. And you invest in 3 others who are interested in doing the same, and you help them to do the same, which is create their own 3X module. And that is what is being duplicated. Inside of that are the dynamics that helps the process to unfold where it becomes viable for everyone. So that's the model that we're going to look at. So you're building to the director level and you're starting as an associate, and this example that we were given is just based on the fact that everyone is using just what we call our Flex 4 smart ship. And a smart ship means that you simply, every month, you get an automatic order to ensure that you are building your personal well-being, because you're building and committing to 2 things: your personal well-being, supported by 4 of these technologies, and you're committed to building and investing in your business. So your investment is twofold. You're investing in your personal well-being, you're investing in your business. And so this example is based on you, all of us, each person doing their Flex 4. And as far as building the business, as an associate, you are eligible to earn on 1 level. But since you have no levels, this is where you invest in 3 other people, and that will become your first month goal as an example. And that takes you to the 2nd level of being senior associate. Once you've invested in 3, that's your first level. Now that you've done that, you're eligible to earn on the increased volume that you and the other 3 are doing, and you'll get to get an idea of an understanding of the potential of that. But now that you're a senior associate, you're now qualified to earn on 2 levels of business, but there's only 1. So a 2nd level needs to be created. How is that done? That is done by your 1st level associates creating their own 3X module. So let's call this month 2, where you've now created your 2nd level. And so now you're eligible to earn on 3 levels, but you have 2 at this point, but your potential of earning has now exponentially grown from 3 to now 12. That's a big jump in growth. Now, in order to earn on 3 levels, bear in mind that these people are doing exactly the same as you. And also, as I said earlier, what we're not getting here in this example are the dynamics that's built in to the system to help to propel and facilitate this process. So now level 2 associates build their 3X module. And so in month 3, you're now 3 levels of business deep. And And this now brings you right up to the point where once your third level people complete their module, taking you 4 levels deep, you've completed your director's module. You're now at the bridge where you can now get to managing director, cross over that bridge, and begin to get into a place where you start to experience different levels of growth, not just in business or in structure, but different levels of growth in income. At this point in time, your average income could be anywhere between $600 and $1,000, anywhere in between there. And that's only based on the fact that everyone is just consuming. No one has gone out and built a customer base. No one, we're not talking about what you're building on your online platform. This is just teams of people building their well-being and sharing it with people around the world. That is the potential of what that can be for you. The other side of it, which is where the fast track comes in, those entrepreneurial investment minded people who want to start fast. This is the 60-day plan for these people. And this is where you're going to be investing into a level of product where you're going to be inventory ready for immediate personal distribution. This is where your profit margins become higher because prices become even lower when you do it this way in terms of wholesale. What we just talked about, you're purchasing at wholesale, but for this 60-day plan, you get the products at even below wholesale, so your profit margins are higher. You can build more momentum. You advance in up the scale faster, and so you're more eligible now for just not only higher bonuses, but you also rank advance up the scale faster as well. Hence, it's called the fast track. So to take you from here and take you through that and how that works, I'm going to let my upline leader, Harold Allen, um, lead you through that and explain that to you. Harold is a numbers man. He is the CEO of the Caribbean Stockbrokers Limited, and he has been in the financial markets and he's been in dealing with these numbers for a long time, for many years. Harold and I go back a long way, and I am very happy to be associated with Harold in the business. So, Harold, I'm going to hand it over to you. Let you take it from here and take us all the way through.
Hey, thank you, David, and good night to all on the presentation. Okay, so you've looked at this business and you've decided that you want to be more than just using the products. You're looking at how to really join in the mission of getting these patches out to everybody that you can balance test. So let's look at a fast track program that the company gives to new persons who are looking for that type of business opportunity. So the first thing that you have to do once you've decided that that's your goal is you have to get stock. And the company gives you 5 options of launch kits for you to start your business. So there's the Momentum Kit, which gives you just over 61 packs of patches, the Omni 25, the Omega 18, and the Panam that gives you 3. Now, the one that we're going to look at is the Flex 40, because that's the most recently introduced one. And what that does is that it gives you the ability to customize your inventory. All the others come pre-arranged in terms of the number of each pack of patches you would get. But with the Flex 40, you are given the ability to choose the patches that you want. So for example, if when you looked at the market opportunity and you saw that pain, you need 2 or 3 billion people have pain issues, you may decide, look, let me do 40 packs of pain because I have persons that I can sell these patches to. Okay, The other thing is, because you're building a business, a team business, the company also gives you the opportunity of fast start bonuses that all of these kits qualify you for. Let's go to the next slide. So let's see what is available with these fast start bonuses. The first thing is the hat trick bonus. So what they say is that if in your first 30 days of getting into the business, you introduce 3 persons, 3 friends of yours, family members of yours, who do the same, and they buy the kits, the company will pay you $200 in what is known as a hat trick bonus. In the second 30 days, if you then teach those 3 to do exactly what you did and introduce 3 of their own each, the company will then pay you an all-star bonus of $400. So those are the 2 fast start bonuses that the company offers. They are one-off bonuses. Your first 30 days, you can get the hat trick. In your second 30 days, you can get the all-star. The other bonus that the company gives you is what is known as a driver bonus. And what happens is, for any calendar month that you bring 3 persons into the business, the company will pay you $200. Right? That's how the driver bonus. So that's not one-off. Every calendar month that you do that, where you bring 3 persons into the business, the company will pay you $200 in driver bonus for that accomplishment. Okay, so let's see how this pans out. The company, in terms of, apart from those fast start bonuses, the company pays enroller bonuses. And how that works is that you're paid enroller bonuses on level 1. Those are the persons that you introduce to the business. And on level 2, the persons that those persons introduce to the business. And on your level 1 personal enrollments, you're paid between 6 and 11%, depending on your rank. If you're a senior associate, you're paid 6%. If you are a team leader and above, you're paid 11%. On your level 2 enroller bonuses, those are the persons that on your second level, the persons that you personally enrolled or brought in, you're paid a 6% level 2 bonus. Let's go again. All right, so let's look at what this translates to when you get into this business. All right, so your initial investment, if you're looking at the Flex 40 with taxes and everything, is $1,389.93. The projected earnings on that is $1,084.55, given what we had looked at. And it means that your net earnings is $305.38. In other words, you haven't recovered your monies as yet in those first 30 days. But in those 30 days, you've gotten enroller bonuses, level bonuses, hat trick, rank advance because you've moved to team leader, and driver bonus. Let's go to the next slide. So what happens to you in your second 60 days? In your second 60 days, your projected earnings is $1,767.70. Your ongoing operating expense, which is your smart ship, is $154.45. That's what you're paying with. You have a negative net earnings that you bring forward of $305.38. But at the end of those 60 days, of that, right, you in fact would be in profit. You'll be $1,307.87. The important thing with this, it means that from there on in, because that $154.45 that you have to do monthly is now covered by your net earnings. I tell people, always keep your money inside your business and build it through, right? So that's an example of what can happen with that 30 to 60 day using the fast track method in terms of how you recover and you're in fact ready to move forward in the business. Okay, so how do you get involved? Well, the person who in fact introduced you and who invited you onto this presentation will send you their URL link, and there you will then, they are in fact your sponsor, and you would then sign up and join from that URL link. You have now become their first enrollee. Within the process, you would then determine the name that you'd want to give to your website, because once you join, the first thing you're doing is setting up that website, that URL link, which gives you the ability to sell online and to introduce Superpatch, your Superpatch business, to the world, so that you get that done. You also have to, so to do that, you have to create, as I said, your affiliate platform, and you would have determined which enroller path you would want to use, whether it is the Flex Forte that comes highly recommended, or any of the others that are there. In the Caribbean, we need a US address, and we do that through Skybox providers. In terms of how you're paid, with respect to the funds we looked at just now, you're paid through Hyperwallet, and you can access that through virtual or physical debit cards that are given once you've crossed $40 in income. So that is how you register, and that is how you're paid.
Well, folks, that is a general overview that gives you an idea of the concept and the potential and how you can get started and begin to scale both sides of your business. And to get further details, and if you wanted to look into the calculations even more, those figures are also available for you. So if for anyone who may have questions regarding what we just went through, if you're familiar with the network marketing process and you have any questions about that, any questions about the technology, or questions otherwise, this is the time where you have an opportunity to either unmute and ask it, or you can type it into the chat. Anyone? Okay, if you can write, if no one raises their hands or no mics are unmuted and no questions, that's great. Hopefully it came across clearly to you. And of course, you can just request further information if you need to explore any further from your host. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you for everyone for taking the time for being on, and we look forward to working with you. We want to be the first, speaking for Harold, myself, and all the other associates, to welcome you to the Superpatch community, and we look forward to working with you and seeing you succeed as you join the mission and we share this technology with the world. So with that, Harold, I don't know if you have any final things that you may want to add.
Just want to thank everyone for attending. I hope they see the value in what is being presented.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Well, folks, we will see you in the course of the week as you continue to track with the group chats and all that's taking place and all the activities happening. God bless all of you. Harold, thank you once again for the continued support and all that you're doing in helping us to be able to build our businesses. Good night, folks, and God bless you.